Welcome to the Ultimate Truck Showdown. Today we're putting the Ram and the Chevy 2500 Supertourers to the test. Stick around because the results are going to surprise you. I'm Dean, the co-founder of Big Dog Builds. We're the most awarded American truck company in Australia with over 500 builds under our belt. Come and check these two beasts out to see why you should be jumping in one of these Supertourers. All right, let's start with the front ends. We've got the Ram 2500 versus the 2024 Chev 2500. They're both very, very similar in size. They've both got off-road creative front bars. One's color-coded with the satin black hoop. This one's textured black all around. They've both got carbon off-road wireless winches, one of the best winches on the market. Steady lighting package in this one. This one hasn't got any lights on top. They've both got Big Dog Builds accessory racks. Let's jump around to the side and I'll show you the suspension in the Chevy. Chev 2500 front end, this one has got the BDS 3-inch suspension kit with the 35-inch tires. 3-inch suspension kit, in my opinion, is all you need for a Super Tourer. You can go up to the 5 or 6.5 inches if you're wanting to run bigger rubber for higher clearance, but front end, 3-inch suspension that's adjustable between 1.5 up to the 3-inch, being the torsion front end in the Chevs. We've got the Method 305 NV 35 12.5 18 Yokohama Geo16 tyres on this one. These Yokohama tyres are proving to be one of the most popular on the market. There's a reason why. 1,800 kilos of payload in the tyres, 2,000 kilo rating in the Method HD wheels. I say that the suspension in the Chevy is adjustable. This has got the independent front suspension, so IFS with the torsion keys underneath. Wind out the torsion keys, the front end's going to drop. Crank up those torsion keys, you're going to wind up. And it's about getting the perfect balance for the suspension combination with the ride height. We'll swing over to the solid axle in the Ram and I'll show you the differences over there. Ram suspension kit, you've got the solid axle front end which allows for a coil and a shock setup. This is going to allow for more travel in the suspension kit itself. This one here isn't adjustable in height. It hasn't actually got adjustable shock absorbers on it as well like the Chevy did, but Carli with the Kings 2.5 remote reservoir shocks, it's literally a set and forget. All the other options that you can get in a solid axle front end on this one, we've added. Whether that's a torsion front sway bar, whether that's a high mount, low mount steering stabilizer, which is going to give you better feedback through the steering wheel, or you've got the diff guard underneath there, as well as the radius arms on the side. Radius arms with the limit straps is going to allow the suspension to work its full cycle. You're not going to overextend that shock absorber, which is going to do damage to it. Both vehicles front end, you've got the adjustable suspension in the Chev. You've got the non-adjustable suspension in the Ram, but you've got the added benefit of the solid axle front end, which is going to give you more suspension travel. I think it's this one for me. Before we get to the rear end, they've both got the Big Dog Builds accessory rack. This one's got the laser lamp option on the front. The Chevys run the steady front lights. They both got steady side lights on them. Switch Pro will control all of your lights, which they both have, and a GME UHF aerial. Max Trax holders up there. If you want to add any more solar panels, this is the place to put it. Speaking of things up top, they've both got the canopy with the rooftop tents. One's got the Bundu top rooftop tent, and this one here's got the Outback Tourer rooftop tent as well. Both got 270-degree awnings on them as well. Definitely a draw for the roof rack, 1 point each, but for rooftop tents, I think it's got the Bundu top. Push of a button, that thing goes up and down. It's pretty damn impressive. One more thing before we go to the back, let's talk GVM upgrades. The Chevy in the NB2 category has got a massive 5828 kilo GVM. The Ram's got 5460 GVM in this one. Both enough, depending on what trailer you got on the back. It's that rear axle load rating that you've got to watch. With the upgraded leaf springs in the rear end of the Chevy, that's definitely got the point when it comes to GVM. Getting to the back end of these ones, they've both got the off-road creative canopies on the rear end. It's a hard option. This one here's only got the one fridge. The one on the Ram's got 2 fridges. You got a full black interior in the Ram. This one's a refreshing white. I think it's the Chevy for me on this one. It's nice, bright and white. It's also definitely lighter because it's more open. It's got the tie-down options in the back. You've got 1 spare on the rear rather than 2. It's definitely the Chevy for me. The fuel tanks on this one, very, very close. We've swapped out both OEM fuel tanks. The Chevy's got a 210 litre Titan. This one's got a 197 litre. I'd put them in even. 10 litres difference. Is it the Cummins or is it the Duramax or is it who's driving when it comes to fuel efficiency? With the upgraded fuel tanks, I hear you're going to get around 1,000 kilometres of distance depending on what you're towing and how heavy your foot is, but I'd give them both a point for that one. For the interior in the two, the main difference being the Chevy, although it has had a new update in 2024, the Ram has got the 6-seat option from Ram Trucks Australia. If you need 6 bums on seats, the Ram's definitely got the option here. But the new Chev 2500 interior with the facelift upgrade, it's a real split decision on the interiors. I'm still going to go with the Chevy. I think that screen looks amazing. From a price point perspective, they are very, very similar from what I've been hearing from customers lately, whether you're buying a Ram or a Chev 2500, depending on which dealer you can screw down on numbers, where you're going to register the vehicle and how you're going to register the vehicle. With the build price in mind, they're going to be very similar as well. You can spend a lot more in the suspension on the Ram 2500. The Chev 2500 3-inch suspension kit like this one's going to be cheaper. Once you start getting up to the 5 and 6.5-inch suspension kits, the price goes up as well. 37s versus 35-inch tyres are going to make a difference. These both being the height they are, it's definitely the 35-inch option. From a price point, I think it's a tie there as well, to be honest. From a drivability perspective, I think that the Ram's going to be a comfier drive. The Chevy, the V8 Duramax is definitely going to get off the line that little bit quicker. The straight 6 in the Cummins, there's definitely Cummins supporters for a reason. I'm not here to debate about the Duramax or the Cummins. I'll let you guys fight about that one in the comments. But I think that the Ram's going to feel a little bit more comfortable on those outback roads, but the performance and that extra oomph from the Duramax, it's a hard one from me. I'm going with the Ram on this one. If you're a grey nomad preparing for the big lap, or you're a business owner looking to do a gap year with the kids and family, if you've got one extra kid and you need all 6 seats, it's the Ram for you. These guys, they're both going to get you sorted for that big adventure. We're the most awarded American truck company in Australia for a reason, guys. If you want to see the build video on the Chev, check it out here. If you want to see the full walk around on the Ram, check this one out here. Don't forget to click on their website in the description below. Get in touch today.